Okay, so we are back, and this is going to be roughly our 1 week update on how we're doing with carnivore, or basically our adjustment into carnivore.
I'm thinking I'm wearing the same shirt I was wearing last week.
Well, I don't know.
I do have several of that same
Well,
color.
we're minimalizing, so
A lot of them
getting
are the same color.
yeah, yeah. So um, today is Friday, June 7th. So this is day 7 of when we sort of started carnivore. And I think I shared already that initially we had decided we weren't going to throw away any food, and we didn't want anything to go to waste. So we sort of transitioned into carnivore by doing basically keto for a few days.
It was
But
really the end of last month.
mhm,
A little bit this month, but I mean this week, but mostly last week.
last week we were finishing up some bread that we had. So you had sandwiches a couple of days, and then basically you had some nuts, which is kind of keto. And then we've gone through all of the vegetables, all the produce that we had. So we're out of apples, we're out of salad, all of that. So for the past 4 days, it's just been animal products. So
As far as I know.
how would you say? Well, first of all, what changes have you already seen or noticed?
Um, well, just be aware of the whole, unless we know what the right term is, keto flu thing, because after a couple days, and it doesn't take very long,
Mhm.
after a couple days, you will feel like you've got the flu, and it it lasts a couple days.
Mhm.
Um, you will have a bout with like diarrhea for a couple days. Um, and then we had some other people, we watched a different video, and
Mhm.
someone said something about having some cramps in their calves. And I thought, well,
Oh,
that
I
could,
didn't do that.
that could just be them. But it turns out I'm having the same issues. So we did take magnesium some in the past, and I'm not really good at taking anything, so I take it when it hurts pretty bad. But for the most part, when you stick to just carnivore, we're not nearly as hungry as we were. So that has caused us to eliminate a lot of snacks. And where, we might have eaten two of something before, we might only eat one, um, and really aren't that hungry as far as I would say we're probably at best 2.5 meals.
Mhm.
And I could see us getting to a point of it just being 2 meals. But I would have to say that we've got to dial something in because we've been a little lightheaded, off and on.
Right. I think from what I understand with carnivore, that you kind of, especially in the first month or so, you'll kind of ebb and flow with the keto flu feelings. I think we have to learn to balance out our electrolytes. So I think that is the biggest issue. When I start to feel lightheaded, if I'll mix up an electrolyte drink, it seems to really help with that. And the same with the intestinal bathroom issues that kind of comes and goes. But hopefully we're over the worst part of it, because I do think the first week is the worst.
What we've been told most of our life is lean meat, lean meat, lean meat. And
Hmm.
I think our stuff has been too lean.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to mentally transition away from that.
so I do know that because we have chickens we raised on the farm, and um, pigs we raised on the farm, that we kept more fat on and eat more of that. And I think when you're going carnivore, you need that.
Mhm.
And you would be surprised if you were actually eat that versus what we were taught by not eating it, that it would fill you
Right.
up, and that's opposite of what we were always told. But we can tell you that less, the leaner it is, the hungrier we're going to be, and the more that there is some fat on the bones, then the less hungry we are.
Mhm. Those boneless, skinless chicken breasts are not gonna fill you up like some fatty ground beef
Mhm.
or pork chop with the fat still on the edge. A lot of times when you well, if you have them processed, sometimes your butcher will take that off, and you don't wanna do that. You definitely wanna keep all the fat on it and take advantage of it. If you're not eating it, at least you can save the rendered fat from it and use that to cook eggs in or to cook other meat in because it really does make a difference with the taste,
Mhm.
and it makes a difference in how your body's going to feel. I've noticed that after probably maybe it's day 3 or 4 that all of a sudden I had a lot more energy. I mean, I'm not like running marathons or anything. I don't run, but I felt a lot less sluggish, which I noticed that when I ate things like potatoes and bread and things like that,
Mhm.
I would always comment, especially when we used to go eat fast food, I would say, it just makes me feel so sluggish afterwards. And I don't feel that way now.
Yeah, the road trick will be tomorrow when we're driving an hour to see if she falls asleep in the car, because that's
Oh,
typically what happens. But
yeah. And I will say too, now that even though I do have a lot of energy, I kind of seem to go wide open all day. But when I hit the bed at night, in like 10 minutes, I'm out.
mm,
And the dogs may wake me up during the night, but for the most part, I'm sleeping really solid. What about you?
yeah, I mean, I think my energy level has increased a little. I wouldn't say it was a lot, but a little.
Mhm.
I do think that I'm sleeping better, and I think my allergies are a little better, but like I don't think we've been in it long enough
No.
for me to say or not say. But trying some different things, and we'll see. We also um, probably need to. It's too late in the day to do it now, but maybe first thing in the morning, weigh and do our blood pressure and blood sugar and see where they stand. So I think that would be about a 2 week, you know,
Mhm.
number.
I don't
Doing
know. I'm kind of tempted to just like take the scales and pack them away till the end of the month.
Well, I definitely
You
say
know.
initially we were like checking it every day, and that's a waste of
Mm-mm.
time and the waste of the strips and everything else. Like don't do it every day. I Every 2 weeks is more than sufficient.
Mhm.
And I really, that's not the big, well, blood pressure and blood sugar numbers being better is part of the deal, but
Yeah.
I'm not super worried about how many pounds I do. I just know that when I did it before, I lost some weight, and
Right.
it's the only thing that I've ever done that I've actually lost weight doing. So I regret that I stopped.
I think for both of us, the most important thing is not what the the weight scale says. That seeing that number does help us to like see progress.
Well,
But I know
it
that
is important because
yeah.
if we were lighter, we'd be healthier. But
Mhm. But I think that maybe what we should do is measure ourselves. And maybe not with numbers, but with a ribbon or something.
mm,
So that I don't get triggered and get obsessed with the numbers because there are plenty of other numbers
mm,
that I need to worry about.
mm,
So
we'll see.
anyway, that's where we are.
Hmm.
I definitely have found myself occasionally craving a little pasta. Um, if there were chips in the cabinet, I probably would have had some. So
Yeah,
it definitely helps to not have it around.
you definitely don't need to have the temptation.
Hmm.
But it's getting easier. There's a lot of stuff that while we were in out there too, I was a little,
Finicky
you yeah, maybe.
or depressed.
But as the day goes on, I don't think about it anymore. So
Hmm.
just like I wouldn't let the whole keto flu thing get you all freaked out.
Oh no,
Day or
it's
two,
just
just feeling like you're a little achy and need to take a nap, and then it's worth it to get on to the other side. Leg cramps, calf cramps, whatever you want to call them, have not been like killing me where I can't walk. Um, and it's not like I haven't had other aches and pains before. So the irony of this is maybe a lot of the other stuff stops aching, and if we just figure out what it is that our body needs to offset the cramps, and maybe it's just more fat
right.
in the meat. But
I was gonna say too that we're learning, having to learn our body signals, like learn what certain things mean, and like the hunger, realizing that hunger is not the same thing as a craving. And a lot of times we crave something when we're not really hungry. So I have found myself like thinking that I'm really hungry and I make a plate. I've done this probably 3 days in a row, at least at lunchtime. I'll put together 2 patties of hamburger or a whole plate full of meat or whatever and get about halfway through it. And then all of a sudden, it's just like my brain says, nope, you're done. That's enough.
Mhm,
And so I don't know that I've ever listened to my body like that. But I got full and that was it. So
mhm,
it's been interesting. I definitely am feeling better. And I'm very encouraged to see the differences. I mean, I can feel a little bit already of the bloatedness starting to go away, and have a lot of weight around my stomach to see that disappear. But
mhm.
progress,
Yep.
daily progress.
So
So,
anyway, um, probably just giving updates about every 2 weeks is adequate, because
mm,
anything between now and then is going to be
minimal.
minimal, and it's just like anything. It's a wave. So day to day is not nearly as important as week to week. So
Mhm.
um,
So I think I will close out this video just sharing some of the things that we've been eating, some meal ideas. I love to see what other people are eating. It's given me some ideas. So until we do the next video, here's some ideas for some things that you can fill your carnivore diet with.
so
Catch you
then,
later.
see you.